Welcome back. Today I want to talk about 5 things you need for your Canon R6. And if you don't have an R6, a lot of these will apply to other cameras also. So just because you don't have an R6, don't mean you can't check out this video because it'll be helpful about any kind of camera you have. So let's get started. So the first thing I recommend for any mirrorless camera, I don't care what brand it is you absolutely must have a battery grip. Now mine's all wrapped up in this cage, so I can't show it to you separately, but I'll put a picture up top so you can see what a battery grip looks like. What this battery grip does is there's 2 batteries in there. Not only does it make it feel better in your hand, feel a little more sturdy, but you're getting twice as many shots, twice as long video, and whatever it is you're doing, you're gonna get twice as long. So I have about 8 batteries. If I'm headed to a wedding, they're all 8 fully charged. I keep 2 in here. When they get low, I switch out to 2 brand new ones. I take these 2, get them charging, and it's just a constant rotation because you can never ever have enough battery power for these new power-hungry mirrorless cameras. They're all this way. They all eat through batteries. The Canon R6 isn't terrible on batteries, but when you're doing big events, weddings, whatever it is you're photographing, you need all the power you can get. So put 2 batteries in that battery grip. It gives you a better feel in the hammer, but most important, it's going to make it last twice as long. Keep a few batteries in your pocket if you're away from, because sometimes I'll be out in the field shooting pictures and all my equipment might be at the venue where they're getting married. So keep a few in your pocket if you have to. Keep 2 more in your pocket. That way you got 2 in your camera, 2 in your pocket. So there you go. Now the second thing I recommend, and this is important, and people seem to be getting away. In the 80s and 90s, it was huge, shooting with flash. Then all of a sudden, everybody got into shooting available light and all that, and that's pretty at times. But there's a time and a place for that. If you're going to stand out from the rest of the crowd, you need a good flash. Because if you're shooting outside, I don't care how much pretty available light you have, unless you have a flash, you're going to have dark circles in your eyes. You don't have to overpower them with the flash, but get that fill light in there so that the eyeball sockets are not dark. I see pictures all the time. They'll say, hey, look at my new senior pictures. My friend shot them. The poses look good. Everything, exposure's good. There's dark circles in the eyes. I just want to shake them and say, get a flash on your camera and get the circles out of the eyes. Get the shadows out of the eyes. It'll look so much better. That's the most important thing when you're looking at a picture of somebody or you're talking to somebody is their eyes. The eyes, they say, is the window to the soul, and there's a reason for that. Get the shadows out of the eyes. So get you, I use a Godox V1 most of the time at a wedding on top of my camera. I used to use the Canon 580X. It's kind of old. I've got some other Canons. I've got a Godox V1 Pro on the way, but I haven't got it yet. But as of now, the Godox V1 is my main run and gun flash. Now, it's not my favorite thing to put a flash on top of the camera and to do pictures. So if you have time, it's better to take like an 8200, put it off to the side and fire it. But when you're at a wedding reception and everything's happening super fast and you're running from inside to outside to upstairs to downstairs, you don't really have a choice. Get a flash on top of the camera. It's better to have a picture that's 90% perfect than not have the picture at all or have a picture with dark sockets in the eyeballs. Get a flash, learn how to use it. You can start with TTL. It's very easy from there, and I've got some other videos that show you how to use the flash. And my email's at the bottom. I would love to see everybody using the flash, especially you guys that are beginning. You'll see a massive difference in your pictures when you put a flash on your camera. Now, the third thing I recommend, if you're banging your camera around all the time like I am, you're carrying it, putting it in the car, you're throwing it on an airplane, you're going to this photo shoot and you're going to that photo shoot and you got stuff everywhere and you're banging into people and you're bumping into everything, is a camera cage with a grip. Now, I did a video the other day about this grip. Be careful how much you pay for these grips because they can get really expensive. This one's like 20 bucks from Ulanzi. It's just a handle, and I only use the one side, so it's not that expensive. They got some handles are close to $100. I paid 20 bucks, and look, it holds it on just as good as a $100 handle. But I think it looks pretty cool. It matches the camera, and it's got a cold shoe right here too, so I can put a video light, or I can put an extra strobe, or whatever the heck I want to put on there. I can do it. So anyway, get a cage. If you drop it, it's going to help with protection, and it makes it so much easier. You can carry with the camera. You can drop it down by your side if you're walking. And one other addition that I have to this, because I like backups, y'all know that, is this strap. It will screw onto the bottom of the camera. screws right beside where the tripod grip goes. And then you can get your hand through here and you snap it. Now if I let go of the handle, it's still hanging on. And it's not only hanging on right here, it's hanging on at the bottom. So if worst case scenario, your hand comes out of the handle, this breaks, you've still connected down here. So you have multiple backups of the way to hold your camera. You don't want to get an R6 or an R5 or anything and drop it and break it not long after you get it. So get some gear to help you hold on to it. It's nice and makes it much easier just to grab like this. I mean, it's just so much nicer, especially if you do drop it, you do have some protection around it with this cage. So that's helpful. Now, the third thing I would suggest is, and they almost give these away. I know you probably got a lot of lenses. You probably got a lot of 50mm lenses, but this Canon 50mm lens, you can get them for $150. It's 1.8. If you've got one already, get another one. If you've got the 1.2, the 1.4, whatever you have, get one of these. They're almost giving them away. This is yet another backup in the redundant world of backups. When you're doing weddings or whatever you're doing that you're getting paid for, you'll know I've got a 50mm lens. It's not the best quality of all the lenses. It's not perfect in any category, but what it will do is it will get you through your situation. And then it goes down to 1.8. So the Canon RF50 1.8 is a definite need for anybody that's buying a camera. In fact, if you're just buying an R6 or whatever, just go ahead and order the 50mm lens with it and get it over with and get it in your bag. It's very helpful. It's very handy. And the final thing that I will say, now this is not a have to have, but it's what I like. This is the Godox X3, where you can control all your Godox flashes off your camera. I did a video on it the other day. If you don't have the X3, you can use the X Pro 2 or the X2T, whatever, but get a Godox remote and set it on top of your camera. That way you can fire multiple flashes around you. You can control all the power coming out of each one. And that way you're going to be set. Even if you're shooting with 3 lights outside or inside, you can, right on top of your camera, you can change the power of each one while you're at it. So if I've got a backlight behind somebody that's, I've got 3 flashes going, an A, B, and a C that's behind them for a backlight, and all of a sudden I don't want a backlight on them anymore. I don't have to go up there. I can just grab my transmitter and cut the backlight off, and then I'm only shooting with 2 lights, or I can change the power of each light as it goes. So even if you don't get the X3, get a good Godox transmitter, put it on top of your camera, and then you'll be set with your Canon R6 or whatever camera you're using. They'll have a Godox trigger for that camera, whatever it may be. So whatever you're doing, check over these things I just talked about, because they're not just good for the R6, they're good for any camera that you have. So check them out, and if you guys have any questions about anything I talked about, or any questions about anything, in fact, just send me an email down at the bottom. I'll be glad to answer it, and if we're helping you guys out, hit that subscribe button. Have a good day.